This is Dead Serious, a show about short horror stories worthy of discussion. I'm Dead Pallet, and I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of a secret underground Nazi laboratory in the Black Forest. Today we're going to be taking a look at I Am a World War II Historian. This is what happened when I turned on the lights. There's a sequel to the last part about being a World War II historian, not affiliated with a network and only using YouTube. Okay. Let's get right into this. Hi again, I'm currently in my tent, a hot pot of coffee in front of me. I'm constantly looking up at the door of the facility, constantly on the look for the monster. Okay, I have a suggestion to the narrator of this story. Leave. Get out of there. Get out of there, okay? That's my advice. First off, addressing some confusion from my last video. It wasn't a video, 'twas a upload to No Sleep. First, guns are legal in Germany, and I have all the permits and training to be registered gun owner. Secondly, a lot of you asked why I went back to sleep. I tried not to. After seeing what I didn't want to sleep. I just nodded off against my will. Nonsense. Exactly why I have some coffee right now. Nonsense. You see a monster? You're shooting at a monster, and then you just like, oh man, you just go to sleep immediately? Come on. Like, that's not how that works, guys. Just imagine someone at war in the middle of shooting just falls asleep. Come on. This person's trying to address the criticisms from the first story, and it just doesn't make any sense. I'll start this off where I left in my last post. I just woke up and found a footprint of the bunker thing and realized what I saw last night was real. Then I grabbed my AR and prepared for another day of looking through history. Is that what you're doing, or are you monster hunting now? I was scared out of my mind, but I needed video content ASAP. So you have cameras with you? Shoot the cameras at the footprint shaped like a human. When I posted I haven't posted in a few months. I attached a video of a flashlight to the barrel of my AR, put a GoPro on my shoulder, and opened the rusty, heavy steel door and walked inside the facility. None of this makes sense. The place seemed darker than the day before. My flashlight barely penetrated the dingy darkness. I tried to turn the lights, but I tried to turn on the lights I put in the hallway to my left, but they were all ripped out. But they were all ripped out of the batteries. But they were all ripped out of their batteries. So the batteries encased the lights. This is why you should just write a story, edit it, and then upload it, because you get this stuff. I didn't bother putting them back together. I walk down the main hallway, my footsteps echoing through the darkness. I hear water dripping in the distance. My flashlight finally happened upon a branching hallway to the left, labeling something unintelligible. Sorry, I'm a dog barking. What I could read was Acht, which stands for careful in German. I entered the hallway and it quickly opened into a massive room. Low benches lined the sides with folded prisoner garb placed sporadically on them. There were 3 doors. One to the left led to a small guard room of sorts with a window looking into the main room. The door to the right led to a small, sparse room with only a single small bed. Most likely a prison cell. The final door, directly in the middle, had the sound of water splashing in there. Preparing my AR, I opened the door. So this is, it has apparently either leaking or running water, very reminiscent of Barbie.avi. But we're talking about what is a German World War II Nazi base. You think that this would be looked into, that there's just, prisoner garb left over, that no one went in there and raided that in the intervening years. That's a little weird to me. That's like what, like 80, no, not 80, 60, many of years between now and then, and no one's gone in there to investigate. You're the first one? That seems weird. Into the shower room. The humidity was the first thing I noticed. The steam obscured my flashlight so much it was like it was off. I eventually found the source of the water. It was simply a shower still running. The hot water ran down the pipes, and occasionally a drop landed on the head of the pipes above us. I turned off the shower and went back to the main hallway. I took a left, continuing my expedition. I walked for another good minute until the hallway opened to my right. There were Nazi work propaganda lining the walls of it, and the Nazi flag on the roof. It was severely tattered, with it showing the wear and tear of decades of being left alone. I went through this hallway until I reached the generator room. I was ecstatic. I turned on the lights and navigated the place easier. I navigated through the mess of wires and pipes until I found a singular large switch on the wall. It had a picture of a light bulb above it. I attempted to flick it on, but it was stuck. I eventually managed to get it loose and flicked it on. I really wish I didn't. There you have it, folks. That's the no sleep writing style. I did a thing. I wish I didn't do a thing. So again, with more grounding and more time, letting this eventuate, not rushing into it as I think that this story has, there is plenty of room for this story to be realistic. You have to explain, one, why this place wasn't investigated up until now, but how you had all of these sources telling you about it, people who were fans of the place even, who didn't, take souvenirs. I mean, maybe, but you're telling me that some rowdy teen wouldn't go in there to have sex and steal weird medical Nazi garbs. And then two, I think that you need to, eventuate the information about why, all of these documents have been shredded to time, why all of this, why is there a monster still running around in there? There had to have been something where it's that was off limits. Maybe the government's covering it up, something like that. We're just not given any of that kind of information, and that's bothering me. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. But I think that it's just not well grounded, for a story that's supposed to be realistic, that's supposed to be an in real time documentation of something that's actually going on. I only got a few seconds of pure light before I heard screaming and wailing like a banshee were in pain. I ran out into the main hallway with my AR at the ready. I waited for a few seconds before hearing the screaming get closer and the thump of large footsteps approaching me. I looked through the sights and I wish I didn't see what I saw. So that's two now I wish I hadn't in the actual content of the story, not in the title though. It was rotten, with it being a disgusting brown and random lesions colored a vile purple. The thing's face was melted into connected with the elbows. I'm going to read that again just to be clear about this. The thing's right face was melted into connected with the elbows. Make of that what you will. Its limbs were unproportional compared to the size of its feet and hands, and also had a giant, big old floppy, circumcised penis. It was presumably a Jew that was experimented on, so it's probably circumcised. Black liquid was seeping from every crevice of its body, like its eyes and mouth. It had its chin strapped to its wrist, but then being ripped from whatever they were connected to. The moment it saw me, it wailed and ran to me. I pulled the trigger, but the recoil of my gun told me that whatever the thing was would be dead soon. But it didn't die. It's almost as if the author had a foregone conclusion that this thing was bulletproof for some reason, and let that slip into our character's motivation. It just ran to me, wailing as it was being shot. So I had to look it up, but because I always forget the name of it. But this is this monster has similar properties to SCP-096, so like SCP-96, the one that runs into you if you're looking at it. So this monster, that was experimented on, does not like being looked at, I think is the idea. And I like that, but I would I would say that this scene hasn't been set well. And I know I'm like dumping on this story really hard. And I really don't mean to. I'm just trying to give feedback for people listening as to why I have a problem with no sleep stories. But let's press on from there. I ran for the exit, daylight in the distance. The heavy steel door beckoned me, telling me I'd be safe if I'd close the door. I looked back. The thing had its rotting flesh fly off it constantly, only to have it regrow. Okay, so it's regenerative. It's like a Weapon X kind of thing. Every so often I could see the sickly white color of its skeleton, only for it to disappear in the growth of new flesh. It ran to the door and began to close it when the thing crashed into it. It wailed and its arms desperately tried to catch me. Eventually it gave up and I managed to close the door. I heard the screams and cries of it fade until a small crack of light under the door disappeared. So a lot of this, I think, is just happening too fast. This might be more realistic if it was not just a paragraph of action here, you know? I sat in the grass crying. I never expected this. I never wanted this. I cried and cried until the night began to fall. I grabbed my AR, a mug of coffee and beans, and prepared to stay up the night. That's where I am now, scared out of my mind. Leave! Just go! Get out of there! Get out of there, lady. This isn't a bathtub. This is a Nazi experiment camp. You should go. I should stay and we should have sex. I'm scared out of my mind, my eyes still wet with tears. I remember the wails that sounded like German. I'll update if I decide to head back down there. I really don't want to. I'll sleep on it. I'm very tired. Why would you ever go back down there? I do not understand why you would... People leaving these comments. Meme Team 69 says, how about you leave? Very good suggestion. Sympathetic Quill says, sir, I think you need to reprioritize things before you head back into that hellhole. That would be helpful. I just don't know what to make of this. I don't get it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Please check out the Fear Fiction podcast. It's more entertaining than this. And let's get on to our sponsor of the day, which is the Lazarus Project. The Lazarus Project will hunt you down without mercy. Hunt you down all nightmare long.